John 2:5. Dicit mater eius ministris, quod cumque dixerit vobis facite. His mother, that is Jesus' mother, says to the servants, here we have a direct quotation, whatever he may say to you all, do it. So here we get Mary's response to Jesus' comment in the verse before, and she turns quickly to the servants, ministries, and issues a command, which has caused many interpreters to think that perhaps the wedding at Cana was the wedding of a close friend or relative, which would explain the presence of Jesus and his mother and his brothers and some of his disciples. So perhaps Mary had something to do with the catering, so to speak, or she was connected closely to those who were in charge of it, because she turns to the servants. Now, in the nominative singular, minister, servant. But notice what happens in the oblique cases, that is the cases aside from the nominative case. Ministri, in the genitive singular, for example. In the ablative and dative plural, we have what we have here in this verse, is. So we've got a shift that happens of our final consonant from the nominative singular form to right next to the T, and then we've got our personal endings after in the oblique cases. That's a very common thing that happens with Latin nouns. That's just good to note because we don't want to end up with a monstrosity if we're writing our own Latin like ministeris or something. Okay, doesn't exist. That's not the direction that we want to go. So pay attention to those transposed consonants when they happen. Dicit mater eius ministris, she says to the servants, whatever. And here we have what's called an indefinite relative pronoun. Whatever. We could also say whoever. So the head word here in the dictionary that you'd look for would be qui, cum, que. And the qui you'll recognize from learning the simple relative pronoun, and the cumque here is what gives it its indefinite flavor. Whatever in the world or whoever in the world, etc. So here, whatever in the world, this neuter singular, whatever in the world or whatever he may say. And here we've got a potential subjunctive, okay? And our tense is in fact the perfect subjunctive. Perfect subjunctive, third person singular, active. And we've got it here because Mary, by necessary implication here, does not know in advance exactly what Jesus will tell the servants to do. In fact, this is something of an act of faith on her part to say, listen, whatever he tells you, that's what you ought to do. So the perfect subjunctive is what we have here, indicating potentiality, whatever he may say. I don't know what he will say, but whatever it may be, whatever he says to you all. Dative plural from our second person plural personal pronoun vos, vobis, facite. Here's our imperative. Do it, you all, you plural, do it. And this might be a good space to remind you that the singular, second person singular imperative of facio facere, to do, is fac. And this is a good word to know and one that one would use pretty frequently if using Latin on a daily basis.